one more shout out. Well, a small early shout out to the BC Lions Domer for wanting to save Simon Fraser. Like, that guy's putting money into the BC football community. Well, what more can you ask for?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Simon Fraser says it wasn't financial, right? It wasn't due to financial reasons. So he's coming out and saying, hey, let's figure out for sure what it is. Then what's the reason? If it's not financial, tell us the truth and let us know.
Absolutely.
Right. And his quote is, we keep hearing it's not financial. It's not this, it's not that. But there's no reason that we can see that the season should be canceled. They should have allowed it to play it out. That's what Doman said. So what is the exact reason? You can't tell us it was too hard. The application process to do it was too hard. You had a season to play this year. There was no reason to cancel right now.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. So take the support, answer some questions, and figure it out, because you're affecting a lot of people's lives here.
Ugh. I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get mad at this. Let's talk about something good. We've had some great lists about great lists of great ofs over the past few weeks. So we're going to continue that fad. We're looking at the greatest free agent signings of the CFL East. We did the West last week, and there's going to be a name that comes in for both here, East and West, the greatest player of all time. I fear that this might be crazy close because, quarterbacks run the East.
Yeah.
So who do you got for Toronto? Let's get it out of the way. Who do you got for Toronto?
Doug Flutie.
It's got to be.
Yeah, no question. Like the two Grey Cups back to back in Toronto. Once getting there, and he just dominated. He dominated.
Yeah. MVP in both Grey Cups.
Yeah, there's no question who that would be.
I'm gonna go with Hamilton now. I got one of Winnipeg's favorites on the Winnipeg staff as one of the assistant GMs, Danny McManus. Had an MVP season in his second year in Hamilton, passed for over 5,300 yards. Beat Calgary in the return matchup because he went to the Grey Cup his first year in Hamilton, by the way, that he got signed. Lost in the Grey Cup to Jeff Garcia, your boy. And then he went to the Grey Cup, played Calgary again, Dave Dickinson this time, and he won. So I got McManus. And
is that the last time they won? Or no? Did he win two?
Why are you being mean to Hamilton fans that?
Just asking. My memory is not that great, so I was just trying to.
Are you acting? Oh, my memory's not that great. Let's move on to Montreal. Who do you got for Montreal?
Again, we're going back with another quarterback, and Anthony Cavillo. Man, he made the Owls into a powerhouse when signing there. And it's funny because when he signed there, you're not even thinking much of that because we saw him play in Hamilton. You're like, oh, he's terrible.
Oh, he's back up to what? Matt Dunnigan and someone bad.
But even when he came in, when he took over, he was just bad. It's like, okay, dude, we'll see you 2 years. You'll be out of this league. But Montreal transformed him, and he transformed Montreal.
Yeah. Imagine leading a receiving core with 4 1,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
4 1,000-yard receivers. That's crazy. Arguably one of the best quarterbacks in CFL history.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And he packed that McGill Stadium.
Yeah. And he beat up the Bombers a lot.
We didn't have to remind me of that. Let's talk about Ottawa, the Red Blacks. I got Smiling Hank on this one. Who could it be? The Red Blacks short history. We're not going to go into the Rough Rider history. Sorry, we're not going to attach it. We're going to go with the current Red Blacks. And I got Henry Burris. He bought the championship. He bought the chip.
He did, and he was only there for a few seasons and up and down seasons. He had that one wicked season where they ended up not winning the Grey Cup. Mm-hmm. And then in a bit of a up and down season, he ended up leading them to the Grey Cup, and they won. And he had over 450 yards. He threw for over 450, 3 touchdowns, and they beat Calgary. So it was a wicked game. So I can't argue with that one either.
For me, he was one of those guys that's like, this guy again, but I didn't hate him. Pinball. I didn't hate him. He's just a nice guy, but it's like, this is gonna hurt today.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do another list. What?
I'm not the only one that thinks back to some of these players pinning into the Bombers.
I got you. Let's go with the CFL all-time starting offense in the West. We got a quarterback, a running back, and 2 receivers. Let's start with quarterback. Who do you got?
We've talked about him a few times, and he wasn't in the league forever, but I got to go with Doug Flutie again. He was dominant when he played, and in the CFL, he may not be up there in terms of yardage and all that stuff because he wasn't around long enough, but when he played, he was dominant, and he just led teams to Grey Cups.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a different quarterback, actually. I'm going to go with Warren Moon.
Oh, yes.
He made an Edmonton franchise.
I didn't even think about Warren Moon.
You didn't think about Warren Moon?
I just thought of Doug Flutie, and I'm like, hey, I'm done.
I can't blame you. He's pretty awesome. But and you can't go wrong. If you're starting a Western team with either Doug Flutie or Warren Moon, you're going to win probably.
Yeah.
It's just he was a historical quarterback, and he's just such an athletic quarterback. If he would have stayed in the CFL, who knows how many yards? Oh my, well, same as Doug Flutie, guy threw for 6,000.
Yeah, if you think both of those two would have had long, say 10, 15-year careers in the CFL, what kind of numbers would they end up with? Like, holy.
Imagine. Oh my gosh. And also Ron Lancaster, he's awesome too. Running back. I'll go first. I'm going to go actually with a Rough Rider. I'm going to go with George Reed. He held that rushing title for 29 years until Mike Pringle. Imagine a rushing title for 29 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go George Reed.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, even though he played for the Rough Riders. But he was dominant. He was a wicked running back, and he, like you say, he did it. His longevity was there too. He did it year in, year out. So
yeah, should you go over George Reed?
George Reed as well. Yep.
All right, that's good. That's good. Who do you got for one of the receivers? Even though I know who you got for one of the receivers,
I'll give you this one because we're probably the same on this one for sure. Okay. Milt Stegall. You ever hear of him?
Milt what?
Stegall.
Stegall, like Stevens. Yeah, no, Milt Stegall. I got you. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's nothing to argue there. I mean, the guy was dominant, and he never had a quarterback like Flutie or Moon or anything like that. His best ones are basically Kahari Jones and Kevin Glenn, which were good quarterbacks, but nothing superstar, right? And he still made it happen, no matter who he was playing with. Yeah,
like Kahari Jones is a good quarterback, but Milt Stegall made him an amazing quarterback.
Yeah.
And he is the greatest receiver of all time. Like you said, like for half of his career, he had a Roman quarterback. Remember back when we played football in the yard? Roman quarterback. That's what he had.
Yeah.
Kevin McDougal, TJ Kopp.
Oh my God. Do we have time for this? Vargas.
Yeah, there's like a good 12. There's a good dirty dozen of those Roman quarterbacks. And respect to those guys for playing professional football. But, it just Stegall had to play with those quarterbacks.
Yeah. A lot of them never lived up to the hype.
No, sorry. Milt Stegall did all he could for y'all, but you didn't. I'll go with my second receiver next. I got Alan Pitts. I remember being at a club one night, and Marvin Coleman, who played for the Bombers at the time, we were having just talk about football, and I'm like, I'm sure he was like, who's this annoying dude coming to talk to me about football? It's my night off, motherfucker. Any which way. I was like, dude, who's the best receiver in the CFL that you've ever seen? And he's like, Alan Pitts. And that has just stayed with me. And this dude practiced against Milt Stegall. Just the guy broke 2,000 yards. He was a physical freak. He was tall. His catch radius was who knows how long of a wingspan. I take him over some other good receivers. So I'm going to go Alan Pitts.
I'll just do something different. I agree with you on Alan Pitts, but I'll take one other guy and I'll go with G. Roy Simon. But basically, it was between him and Pitts in that one. But because you took Pitts, I'll take Simon. He ends up leading the league at the end of the day once he's all said and done with the most receiving yards. So dominant wide receiver after he came back, especially from the NFL, even with the Bombers there for the one season. But he was good. He was a big kid, and he just got it done. And he was always just dominant on the field.
Absolutely. How about Mervin Fernandez? You remember Mervin Fernandez?
Oh, yeah.
BC? That guy I used to dread when the Bombers. I used to always dread when the Bombers played BC back then with those beautiful orange and white jerseys. But I'll also shout out Mervin Fernandez on that. Friends,
there's some good ones, man, for sure.
Heck yeah. Go on and on still. Friends, put your choices for best quarterback, running back, and two receivers from the West. Next week, we'll do the East, see how they compare. See if we match on. We match on a couple. We got some different variety too. So shout out to us. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what you think.